And just when I thought that we have the king of air coolers, something new has to drop. And I mean, this cooler is already on the market for quite some time, but just now I had it up for review. And right here is SUDOKOO SK620V. This is specifically designed for AMD. And because of that, we have a contact frame inside the accessory box. Now, as I stated in the beginning of the video where I said just when I thought we had something amazing that, well, it is still amazing, we have something else right here. Now, this air cooler has a digital screen, has quite nice mechanism when we're talking about the attaching the front fan, the attaching the middle fan, and basically quite simple access towards the application inside the Windows, because you have to install Mastercraft to actually see these visuals, these sensor panels, because you have the usage or load, you have the temperature, you have the frequency, and you have the power. So basically you have all the vital information right here on top of the air cooler for the CPU. Apart from that, when you access the Mastercraft, you don't actually have too much to do over there. You can either choose Celsius or Fahrenheit, which will then be displayed on the digital screen here on front. Now, I do have to say one thing. In general, when we take SUDOKOO and their Mastercraft software and general software that they use for their digital screens is outstanding. Now, not digital screens. We had the Proteus 360, which actually has an outstanding functional software that has such a quick response that I'm really fascinated still. So right here, I'm not surprised, but all in all, the software is really nice and it doesn't take up too much resources, which is quite crucial, I would say. Now, before we go with performance, I really want to ask you, if you have a 420 AAO and this air cooler beats a 420 AAO, would you consider actually switching to it? I know this is a bold statement, but I'm quite curious because this one did remarkable on the benchmarks, but we'll get to that part quite soon. Before that, I have to tell you how to install this air cooler, because let's be honest, you have a contact frame right with the accessory box. So what you do, you remove the original retention brackets and you need to remove the contact frame that comes original with, well, if it's called contact frame, that comes original with the AMD motherboard. Now, I would definitely suggest having the CPU already inside so you don't damage the pins by any chance. Then when you take a look at the contact frame, this is something interesting. It already has it set to an offset. And this is, of course, quite crucial for AMD processors because it lowers down the cooling where the cores are that actually produce heat. So that is quite good. So you don't have to actually fiddle around anything. You just place the contact frame on top. You get the 8 screws inside the accessory box that all 8 need to go on that contact frame. After that, you have a clear picture where you can place or spread the thermal paste. You can either go with a pea size or you can spread it. It's all up to you. I mean, it's all about personal preferences and what works for you the best. I use pea size in 99% of the builds, except if I switch to Intel for benchmarks. But in this scenario, what you do after placing the contact frame is removing the plastic foil from the bottom part of the contact plate and just evenly tying up 2 screws and placing the middle fan, which is attached with the digital screen. Now, digital screen has quite interesting contact because what you do is you have 8 pins that are connected, so the middle fan actually doesn't have a PWM connection directly going from the fan to the CPU fan header. It has the contact to those 8 pins, and basically then you have the USB 2.0 that needs to be connected to the bottom part of the motherboard for the digital screen to actually work, and you get a Y splitter inside the accessory box to get the option to connect both fans simultaneously to the CPU1 header. This is quite simple, aesthetically pleasing when we're talking about the build, but also when we're talking about cable management, it's quite easy and straightforward, so you don't have to think too much about that. Now, this is a dense dual tower heatsink design. 2 120mm fluid dynamic bearing fans. We have 6 heat pipes and quite nice and slick digital display without a doubt. So what's it all about with this air cooler? It's simply focused for AM5 socket, and this is something a bit I would say tricky for some of you guys, but let's be honest, majority of you guys are running either AM4 or AM5. So let's take that into consideration. This is specifically for AM5, so if you're planning to upgrade from AM4 to AM5, this would be definitely something for you guys if you're planning with an air cooler. So going further, we have real-time monitoring on the display with Mastercraft and connection with USB 2.0. It also has visual temperature alerts which are integrated, and the minimum support is Windows 10. Now for the fans, we have 3-phase 4-pole 6-slot FOC closed-loop control fan motor that actually minimizes the voltages and the power consumption. Honestly, I don't care about the power consumption in the fans because, let's be honest, they're so minimal and I rather have the silence kicking in. But that's the best part because I actually heard the fans inside the case more than the air cooler ones. So that's good. So the RPMs are 2000 at maximum plus minus 10%. We have 56.46 CFM airflow. Air pressure is 2.93 millimeters H2O and the noise is at maximum 29.9. So that is really good. The glide fan mount design is, as I said, outstanding. The front fan can be adjusted into 3 height levels depending on the height of the rams, but in general, when you take a look at these rams that I have right here, these are Kingston Fury Renegade DDR5 RGB, and I didn't even have to move the fan upwards because it has loads of space at the front, so it doesn't obstruct the RAM clearance or any in that scenario. You really need to go with high profile RAMs to actually have problems or just to exceed the height of the cooler. Now the dimensions are 145, 144, 164, so in majority of cases it fits because usually we have limitations at 165, so this is good. The weight is 1.6 kilos, so that's still good. We have 6 heat pipes with 6 millimeters diameter, and both fans are 120, 120, 25. 4-pin PWM connection for both fans and USB 2.0 to connect it to the motherboard, but you already heard that twice during this video. And basically that's it. That sums up all that you need to know. Mastercraft can be downloaded at their official website, so there's no problems with searching for software or trying to find it anywhere online. It's really that simple. Now for the benchmarks. And this is where the best thing happens about this cooler, because the first run in Cinebench got me shocked. Second run continued. The third one also continued, but then on the fourth one we had a bit lower score, but then it picked up back. So let's start with the 64 Extreme Edition. We're having 84 degrees on the CPU, which is definitely the best score that I ever had, but the clock speed was 4750 MHz clock speed. Now I want to mention one more thing. The idle with this processor and this cooler, we're having AMD Ryzen 9 7900X3D, and I use this processor mainly because I have loads of AIO and air cooler comparisons. This kicks in 42 degrees. Last time I said the best score that I ever had was 4748. Now I debunked that. I have 42 with this one, which is outstanding because this cooler never ran before the last video where I had 48 and this video where I have 42. So that's brilliant. Then we move with Cinebench R23. The average out of 10 runs, when we're talking about the thermals, is 77.6. Clock speed is 5000 on average, and guess what? The score is 26,906. Even though that beats all air coolers that I ever had on the channel and eventually some 420, 360 and 240 AAOs, maybe this is a golden sample, but maybe this contact frame that comes with the cooler makes all the difference. And I think honestly that's the case. That's what is the only difference comparing to all other benchmarks that I did regarding all other AIOs and air coolers. This is the only air cooler that I had that comes with the contact frame, and that's outstanding. Now, the best score that I ever also had on the channel regarding the 7900X3D is with this cooler, because it goes up to 27,395. That's without a doubt a record. And I can't say anything that can debunk that. This might be a golden sample, I don't know. Maybe, potentially. We had a 240 AAO that was beating 360 out of a joke, and now we have an air cooler that actually destroys literally everything. I mean, I'm so fascinated by the performance, and honestly, when you try to go with 10 average runs just to see what will happen, and then you continue after those 10 runs just to see if something is happening. Everything is the same motherboard, X870E carbon Wi-Fi from MSI. I have the same RAMs. We're talking about Kingston Fury Renegade RGB DDR5, 2 times 16 and 6400 megahertz. So literally everything is the same. The only thing that I see difference comparing six heat pipe, 6 millimeters diameter, two tower, single tower, two fans, 120, 140, it really doesn't matter. The only difference is that contact frame, which obviously helps and keeps it even low when we're talking about decibel range, because the fans don't even go that high. So yeah, with the RPMs. So yeah, because of this is without a doubt my favorite air cooler right now. I can't say that I'm saying anything against past air coolers, because each and every one of those has something special. But when we're talking about performance, this one for me currently on the channel is the best one. So this is definitely PC Crazy performance badge, PC Crazy approved badge. I don't even know what else to give, because there is no point in premium, because we're having a solid price, and you can check that out in the description below with the link that will redirect you to your region, so you don't have to search additionally to anything else. But guys, I mean, this is just fabulous. And I'm not saying this because it's right here for the review. The benchmarks say everything, and I can't go against benchmarks. When I have lower scores, I say they're mediocre, lower, mid-tier, or high-end. It really doesn't matter what benchmarks tell me. I tell you right here in front of the camera. So guys, this was a SUDOKOO's SK620V, specifically designed for AMD, which in general, that's a good choice, because majority of you guys that do game, and eventually of course who do some proper rendering or similar stuff, are on AMD. Majority currently, this and last year potentially. But yeah, do tell me if you're on Intel or AMD, and if you are on AMD, will this cooler be good enough for you? Thank you for watching today's video. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, click the notification bell, and see you next time in a new video. Thanks. Bye bye.